Headphones on for best experience in today's video. We will explore Neithhotep was an ancient queen consort. Peace. Neithhotep, sometimes written as Neithhotep, lived circa 3050 BC during the formative period of the Egyptian state. Her name, inscribed alongside the hieroglyph of the goddess Neith, points to both religious significance and royal authority. She was not merely the consort of Narmer or Aha. She was the first woman in recorded history to rule with the full regalia of kingship. Archaeological and inscriptional evidence makes it clear. Neithhotep was no ceremonial queen. She was a sovereign acting in her own right. Her legacy is anchored in Abydos and Naqada, two power centers in Upper Egypt. Her massive tomb at Naqada, Tomb 214, once misattributed to a king, contains mud brick construction and inscriptions matching royal standards. Cylinder seals from the tomb bear her name encased in a serek, an honor normally reserved for kings. This suggests she governed directly, either as regent for a young king or as a sovereign ruler during the dynastic transition. The bloodline of power. Royal women before Narmer. Neithhotep's lineage is rooted in the ancient nobility of Upper Egypt, possibly of the Naqada elite class. Her bloodline connects to the pre-dynastic unification struggles, likely making her a direct descendant of the Naqada thru chieftains. This made her an ideal match for Narmer, the king who symbolically united Upper and Lower Egypt. The political marriage between Neithhotep and Narmer solidified power between the competing regions. Her bloodline representing Upper Egypt's ancient priestesses and rulers, and Narmer bringing military dominance. This era was defined by matrilineal strength. Royal inheritance was not only legitimized by the father, but deeply rooted in the prestige of the mother's lineage. Neithhotep's prominence reflected that principle. She was not a passive wife, but an active co-ruler. Her status helped Narmer consolidate the 42 nomes of Egypt and bridge tribal rifts through dynastic union. Her possible offspring, King Hor-Aha, became Egypt's second king. The continuity of statecraft and organized religion between Narmer and Aha suggests Neithhotep's role as stabilizer during succession. The Queen Mother had ultimate power in inheritance, land rights, and religious authority. It was Neithhotep's bloodline that brought legitimacy to Aha's reign and the foundation of Memphis as capital. Foundations of greatness. Neithhotep and the unification of Egypt. During Neithhotep's lifetime, Egypt was not yet a singular nation as we understand it. It was a land of independent nomes with separate cults and rulers. Her role in unification was strategic and symbolic. Temples of Neith, the goddess of war and weaving, had been influential in Lower Egypt. By adopting the name Neithhotep, meaning Neith is satisfied, she embodied both political conciliation and divine favor. Through her, the divine and mortal realms were fused. The goddess Neith was one of the oldest deities, predating the sun god Ra. This queen channeled the ancient mother deity and stood as a living link between tradition and new order. Her tomb's grandeur surpasses that of her male contemporaries, suggesting that Neithhotep's status was not temporary. She established standards of royal burial that would later be mimicked by kings. Trade routes to Canaan, Byblos, and Nubia expanded under her administration. The economic policies of this early dynastic period reflect strong central leadership and resource distribution, something only possible through a steady transition of power. Neithhotep ensured Egypt's consolidation did not fracture after Narmer's death. Scepter and tomb, symbols of authority and legacy. The tomb of Neithhotep reveals political hierarchy and spiritual symbolism. It features early hieroglyphs, proving her role in developing Egyptian script. Her seals are among the oldest evidence of written language tied directly to a ruler's identity. This writing did not serve decorative purposes. It was used for administration, taxation, and state control. The presence of her serek, normally reserved for kings, suggests she held the Horus name, a divine kingship title that is unprecedented for any queen of that era. The scepter and crown motifs, including the vulture and uraeus, rearing cobra, suggest she held the same ceremonial items as male rulers. Naqada's layout, with secondary burial shafts and large enclosures, mirrors later royal tombs at Abydos and Saqqara. It indicates Neithhotep's burial was not retrofitted with honor. It was intentionally royal from its inception. This affirms that she was not a regent for ceremonial purposes, but a monarch in her own name. The white crown of Upper Egypt, an enduring symbol, was worn by Neithhotep during rituals, as suggested by seal impressions. She was the embodiment of South Egyptian sovereignty and religious wisdom. Her dominance over ceremonial traditions elevated her to divine status after death, a rare honor among early royals. The queen who preceded kings. Neithhotep's enduring dominion. Neithhotep's political acumen allowed for the stable foundation of the first dynasty, which would shape Egyptian civilization for 3,000 years. The concept of ma'at, order, justice, and balance, was administered through her as a divine principle. Later queens like Mernith, Hatshepsut, and Sobekneferu drew legitimacy from Neithhotep's model of rulership. They ruled not just as consorts or regents, but as pharaohs, because she had already broken the path. Inscriptions from later dynasties reference her indirectly by using her symbols, tomb alignment, and ceremonial practices. She became a template, a political mythos. The royal cartouche, developed later, can trace its ideological roots back to Neithhotep's personal iconography. Her influence stretched beyond Egypt. Early trade routes into Canaan, the Levant, and Nubia grew under her watch. Pottery, carved ivory, and lapis lazuli traceable to her era reveal a network of elite exchange. The control of these luxury goods speaks to her command of commerce and religious gifting. Conclusion: a self-knowledge of the past. Neithhotep was not a figure of ornament or myth. She was a sovereign ruler, the matriarch of a unified nation, and a channel for divine kingship. Her bloodline did not merely extend the rule of men, it initiated the structure of pharaonic power. Before hieroglyphs were standardized, before pyramids pierced the desert sky, she ruled. The greatness of early Egypt was not born in war alone. It was forged in the wisdom of women like Neithhotep, who held kingdoms together through lineage, ritual, and law. Her legacy proves that the foundation of empires rests on the foresight of those who dare to lead when structures are still being built. To understand her is to reclaim a knowledge of the self, rooted not in borrowed titles, but in the truth that greatness begins when structure meets vision. She was not the wife of a king. She was the queen who made kings possible. Let this be remembered. Power begins not with conquest, but with the wisdom to unify. Neithhotep was the architect of that unification. Kindly click like, subscribe, and share this channel.